Week 20.
Hola, buenos dias. Mi nombre es Ida Jones. I serve gratefully as a member of your worship arts team. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, California. Welcome to everyone in our online church campus, where I am, in Oklahoma City, visiting my siblings. Welcome to everyone on our Alluvial Avenue church campus, where I am not. We are one congregation in many places. We acknowledge that our Alluvial Avenue church campus sits within the traditional homelands of the Yokuts and Mono peoples, whose diverse tribal communities share stewardship over the Central Valley. I like to think that here at this church, we offer everyone a spacious, gentle, and all-inclusive spiritual hug. The Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, California welcomes you, no matter your race, culture of origin, age, spiritual background, or religious beliefs. We welcome you no matter your disabilities, the amount of money in your bank account, or your level of education. You are welcome with or without documentation. No human being is illegal at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. As Unitarian Universalists, we not only open our doors to people of all sexual orientations and gender identities, we value diversity of sexuality and gender and see it as a spiritual gift. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. Each month, we have a spiritual theme around which we pick and shape our service and sermon topics, our chalice circles conversations, and our children's religious exploration topics. October's spiritual theme is cultivating relationships. I think this is an excellent topic for this moment in time, especially given the new ways we're discovering to be in relationship with each other during this time of pandemic. For instance, how do I cultivate my relationship with you when I'm usually in my Elk Grove home outside of Sacramento and you're in your own home or on the Alluvial Avenue campus? Today's service, To Be Seen, will explore how we see each other's humanity in these complex times. It is also Pastoral Care Sunday, in which we celebrate the caring and support this church offers during hard times. I know firsthand how important a kind note or card at a time of loss can be, or how a gentle visit or phone call can remind me I'm not alone, even if I'm hurting in overwhelming ways. Although I knew how supportive you, my church, have been, I deeply felt your support when my 46-year-old son, Kenneth, passed into the mysteries of death on October 30th, 2019. Thank you for your loving arms surrounding me and my family during our time of need. Our pastoral care team helps us cultivate caring relationships in this congregation. Thank you to all those who serve gratefully on that team. Before our service begins, let's take a moment to safely greet one another at whichever sanctuary you find yourself. By chat box, in person at Alluvial Avenue, or in the silent sacredness of our individual hearts.
You're all rowdy this morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. For those folks who are here on our Alluvial Avenue campus, I want to especially say thank you. The air quality in Fresno is horrific. You can't even see the sky. It's just a massive brownish gray. So thank you for being here this morning. It would have been really lonely if we were all up here by ourselves, so welcome. Let's allow the sound of the Ting Show, whether we are on Alluvial Ave or we're on our virtual campus. Let the sound of the Ting Sha carry us into a quiet place to open our heart and to listen.
I'm listening, I am listening, Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening, I am listening, Spirit, speak to me. My ears are wide open, my eyes are now open to see what I may be. I'm listening, I am listening, Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening, I am listening. In this moment of Spirit, speak to me. I can hear the voices of all my kind. I'm listening, singing. I'm listening, the tweeting and howling into the wind. My ears are wide open, oh, the joy. My eyes are wide open, oh, the love to see and hear for you and me. Oh, I'm listening in this moment of silence. I am listening. I hear Spirit speak through me.
Good morning. Buenos dias. My name is Laura, and I serve gratefully as both a member of the Board of Trustees and the Pastoral Care Team. If you are on our virtual campus and have a candle or chalice, bring it close, as we'll be lighting it soon. I am not the first in my family to serve on the pastoral care team. My grandmother Bernadette served there for many years with love, care, and compassion. Her many friends kept her well informed about who might benefit from pastoral care services, such as meals, rides, and emotional support. As a child, I helped her carry out the work of the team. I got up early on Sundays so we could give another congregant a ride to church. I helped her prepare Ortega rice casserole for congregants who had recently had surgery. I even helped her select the prettiest flowers from her garden to take to someone in the hospital, and if they were a close friend, we'd often pick out the perfect gift, a pastel velour bed jacket. A pastoral care Sunday like this one inspired me to join the pastoral care team. The message that caring for the most vulnerable members makes the entire community stronger so inspired me, I ran right out and joined the team. Now, I send out greeting cards every month to people with whom we want to keep in touch. I especially love to pick out just the right card for every recipient and seal it with a beautiful sticker, just the way my grandma did. Reverend Tim defines pastoral care as a loving embrace of tangible support and hands-on caring that comes from being part of a religious community. A community embodied by our chalice, in which the flame represents the light of love and the bowl symbolizes the open hands of compassion. Please visit the pastoral care team table outside after the service if you feel moved to join us in serving gratefully or have questions. In that spirit, Tim, would you light the chalice in our Alluvial Avenue sanctuary, while those on our virtual campus light their own chalice or candle? Let us rise now in body or spirit and join in singing Lean on Me. If you are unvaccinated in our Alluvial Avenue campus, please sing in the silence of your heart.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, neighbor, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, neighbor, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, right down the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Let's remain. That felt good, like almost like a aerobic workout, clapping along. Let's join together in the mission of our congregation. La misión de la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno es amar inclusivamente, crecer espiritualmente, servir con gratitud y trabajar por la justicia. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno is to love inclusively, grow spiritually, serve gratefully, and work for justice. Please be seated. So, I invite us to hear these words. About our breath, D. Antoinette Foy says, breathe deeply until sweet air extinguishes the burn of fear in your lungs. And every breath is beautiful refusal to become anything less than infinite. Yes, even in Fresno air. Our breath can lead us to that place where we will refuse to become anything less than infinite. I invite us to continue to breathe together in this sanctuary, this place made sacred by the beating of our human hearts and the breathing that we share. And I invite us to breathe in, and on the in-breath, we breathe in peace. We hold just a moment. We breathe out love. And again, we breathe in peace. We hold just a moment, and we breathe out love. And yet again, breathing in peace, breathe out love. As we continue breathing together, we breathe into this space where we acknowledge that we all walked through this into the sanctuary, either at home or here on this campus, carrying with us a whole lot, joys, sorrows, gratitudes, and concerns. As we move into this time of sharing, those of us here in the sanctuary may have stopped at the small table at the entranceway to the sanctuary, and we invite you to begin on our virtual campus, to begin typing what is in your heart, what is happening in your life that is a joy, a sorrow, a gratitude, or a concern. Letitia entered the sanctuary this morning grateful because they are here in person after watching online for many months. Welcome, Letitia. That's awesome. And Juan entered with a sorrow. A dear friend has been diagnosed with cancer. So prayers and light to Juan's friend. Leslie is grateful that her granddaughter Elizabeth, who is one of the triplets, has members of this church marching for her future rights. And we'll mention that just a moment, yesterday's Women's March all around the country. And are there anything, Patty, that we have from our virtual campus? Any joys or sorrows in the chat box? Yes? Yeah? Okay, great. We figured out a way for the first time today to try to interface live with the chat box, but nobody typed anything in, so we tried. We have celebrations, though, this morning. We want to celebrate the massive mobilization, the Women's March for Abortion Justice, cities across the country in advance of Monday's first Monday in October meeting of the Supreme Court. There were over 640 marches in all 50 states protesting that draconian Texas law that all but makes illegal abortion in Texas. And if you would like to support on the virtual campus abortion justice, just type AJ in the chat box. As Unitarian Universalist, I'm proud to say that all people should have the ability to make decisions about their lives and their bodies. We want legally protected, funded, equitable, supported, and destigmatized access to abortion as soon as someone makes that personal decision. Bans and restrictions like that in Texas disproportionately impact communities that have survived systemic oppression and people who hold multiple marginalized identities. We also celebrate that on Wednesday, the Hindu religion begins their 9-day religious celebration, Navaratri. It is a celebration honoring 3 goddesses of the religion: Durga, the goddess of valor, who we will hear about in the sermon; Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth; and Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. We continue celebrating National Hispanic Latinx Heritage Month. We also pause to acknowledge that the 22-year-old Southern California synagogue shooter, who also tried to burn down a mosque in Escondido, was sentenced to life in prison without parole for murder of Laurie Gilbert Kay and the attempted murder of so many others on that last day of Passover in 2019. A painful reminder that anti-Semitism is on the rise in this country, as are anti-Islamic attacks. And this week, I learned something that I wasn't aware of. This week, there were reports out of Afghanistan saying that the Taliban is targeting LGBTQ people and systematically hunting down and killing members of the LGBTQ community throughout the country. Reports say that neighbors and family members are turning LGBTQ folks over to the Taliban death squads. Methods of death, and just warn you, a graphic language, methods of death are beheading and stoning. This photo that you see of young gay Afghani men puts a face to those who are being hunted down. If you are able, please make a donation to the network of organizations trying to rescue the over 400 LGBTQ Afghanis who have reached out for help. Just Google HRC Gay Afghanistan and you'll find more information how to help, or look in this week's church newsletter. And on our virtual campus, if you'd like to, type P for protect in the chat box. This morning, we also collectively hold in our hearts our beloveds, those vulnerable among us who are unable to be here because of illness or mobility. We remember Glenda R., Pat M., Babs E., Rich B., who had heart surgery this week, Rita T., who took a bad fall and faces surgery this week. We're sending Rita lots of love and light. We remember Robin G. in hospice, Al G., and Bill N. So, a lot this morning, and for all that has been said, a lot of words, and for all that we hold in the sacred stillness of our own hearts, we light our candle of community. We light a second candle, as is our custom in this sanctuary. We light it for the crush of COVID deaths. 4.86 million citizens of the world have lost their lives to the pandemic, and a staggering over 700,000 citizens of the United States. I remember when 200,000 was a projection that nobody believed was possible, over 700,000. So let us join our voices in our call to meditation, a prayer that we sing that holds all of us and all that has been shared. Comfort me, consuélame.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Consuélame, 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 oh mi alma. Consuélame, 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 oh mi alma. Speak to me, speak to me, speak to me, oh my soul. Speak to me, speak to me, speak to me, oh my soul. Háblame, 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 oh mi alma. Háblame, 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 oh mi alma. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Spirit of life, Fuente de Amor, God of many names, power beyond all naming, source of wonder and mystery. And this morning we gather. We gather with uncertainty in our hearts because so much seems unknown. We're fearful of so much. And yet we know there is more than uncertainty and fear in our hearts. Because there's strength. There's a real strength that is found in knowing that we are not alone, and knowing that we are connected to something greater than just us. We may call it different things, but we know it is there, infinite source of all. Help us access our resiliency, for that is what this world needs in this moment. It needs resilient spirits of love. And if this is one of those days where you just can't tap into that resiliency, then we'll hold it for you, carry it for you, until you're able to hold it once again. Así sea, bendito sea. May it be so, blessed be. Amen and amen.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Ida Jones, a member of your worship arts team. As a professor at Fresno State for nearly 34 years, I have met many people, students, faculty, administrators, members of the business community, alumni, educational book and technology salespeople, speakers. I have had multiple opportunities for people to tell me who they think I am, whether I like it or not. But I'd like to talk about one person who revealed to me the person I am through their eyes. Now, a little background first. When I first started teaching, book publishers would send books to faculty, hoping that the books would result in faculty using those books in their classes. Sometimes, as a faculty member, I would have stacks of new books for which I had no use. Some of the books weren't even on subjects I taught. Book buyers were a group of people who purchased those surplus books from faculty. When book buyers came to campus, I would sometimes sell the books I wasn't going to use to those book buyers. So now, the story. Along comes Deborah to find out whether I had any books to sell. Deborah was different. So many of the book buyers were men dressed in buttoned-down shirts and slacks. Deborah wore colorful clothing filled with flowers and wore Birkenstocks. She and I connected right away. We would talk for an hour sometimes. When she left, I was richer in money and in conversation and connection. One day, shortly after we met, she arrived at my office to ask if I had any books to sell. I only had one. During our conversation that day, she told me that she saw me as a sensitive, caring, spiritually connected person. I was surprised by her statement. Those have been my goals: to be loving, sensitive, caring, and spiritually connected. Yet Deborah saw that in me, even though I thought it was at the very beginning of that growth journey. What a way to discover that someone saw me as the person I was trying to become.
Some of the most powerful words that we sing in this sanctuary are these: how could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. First time we sang those words in this sanctuary, I looked out and 3/4 of the congregation were crying, as if no one had ever said these words to them, to us, before. So today we're going to use these words. We're going to sing 3 times. The first time, just imagine, if you will, you're looking in the mirror. And instead of the things that some of us usually say when we look at ourselves in the mirror, say these words to the beautiful, precious being that is you. The second time, I invite you to choose one person who on this day needs light, love, caring, and direct these words as a blessing towards them. The third time, imagine the planet, this interconnected web of life that is so threatened, and let us sing to everything, everyone, to planet Earth. How could anyone ever tell you?
Yes, we just wanted to announce I'm going to play through it once on the piano only.
What's that?
We'll play through it once.
Okay, they're going to play through it once on the piano, and then Celia will lead us. The first time into the mirror.
How could
Anyone ever tell you
you
were
were
anything
anything
less
less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving
love and light to.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
And now to all.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
May it be so. Islamic mystic Mahmoud Shabastari says, every particle of the world is a mirror. In each atom lies the blazing light of 1,000 suns. In the pupil of the eye, an endless heaven. In the pupil of the eye, an endless heaven. Anybody in the mood to do a little armchair traveling this morning? Yeah? So come with me. Let's travel. The place is India. The religion is Hinduism. The woman is old and determined. So relates to that. See her in your mind's eye. This old woman has walked a long, long way. Days ago, her feet blistered and bled, but something within her still pushed her forward. Her back bends from the bundle of food and offerings she carries on her shoulders, but still she walks. She could have taken one in the long stream of buses carrying other Hindu pilgrims to that distant temple. She could have packed herself tight in a rickety cross-country train, but for this Hindu pilgrimage, this 83-year-old woman chose to walk on her own feet carrying her towards that temple, that place of power. A deep, aching need calls her. She yearns to be seen, to be seen in a way that will allow her to feel whole. And so, she mingles her footprints with those who've walked before her for thousands of years, crossing the heart of India to the sacred temple on Chamundi Hill. And now, in the chilly early morning, the Temple Mount soars 3,486 feet above her. Now, only 1,000 stone steps separate her from the 7-story shrine rising from the summit. 1,000 steps to the shrine of the sacred Mahadevi, the great goddess. As the woman makes her way up those last steps, she's engulfed in the sounds of horns and drums, the smells of incense and flowers, the pulse and the push of thousands of worshipers cramming towards a single portal, towards a single door. And she now hears the slow and insistent chant calling on the mother goddess. Chaimundaye, Kalima, Kalima, Kalima. Oh, Kalima, your radiant blackness shines within your shrine in my heart, just as in your shrine on Chamundi Hill. The sound of that chanting builds in intensity and speed as the woman steps across the threshold, enters the inner sanctum, and her aged eyes behold the gold statue of the great goddess, Kalima. For this Hindu woman, that statue is not a created representation of the Divine Mother. That statue is not just a symbol of divinity. This woman's Hindu faith tells her she is beholding the actual true divine presence of the goddess, Kalima. And then there are the eyes. On that gold statue, the goddess's eyes loom large. The divine eyes seem to see all, seem to see that old woman who has walked so far in the pupil of the eye, an endless heaven. Chamundaswari, the goddess of Chamundi Hill, or Kali Ma as she is also known, is a ferocious Hindu goddess of protection and destruction. I like that balance, protection and destruction. Legend has it that when a deadly demon began terrorizing and devouring people, Chamundaswari killed the evil one and brought peace to the world. The goddess, I like that, saves the world, not the guy. Yeah, you can clap, that's good. The mythological place of her victory was the Chamundi Hills in India, and the temple was erected there in her honor. But those who make the pilgrimage to Chamundi Hill do so to do more than just honor or worship as they might in a Western religion. Their need goes deeper. The faithful journey to the temple to be seen. Can you say that with me? To be seen. To be seen. So let me explain. And let me tell you why this matters to us as spiritual seekers and as Unitarian Universalists, so far removed from India and so far removed from the worship of statues and stone images. Hindu statues and images of the divine are characterized by really big eyes. If you look at the eyes of the various Hindu gods and goddesses in statues and paintings, you will see that their eyes are exaggerated. The eyes are sometimes huge. They are deep. They are open. They invoke a quality of infinity itself. The eyes are not large by accident. The eyes are large because eyes are the key to the Hindu religious experience. Those eyes create the possibility for darshan. Darshan. D-A-R-S-A-N. Darshan means to see and to be seen. Diana Eck, a noted Hindu scholar at Harvard University, writes, when Hindus go to a temple, they do not say, I'm going to worship, or I'm going to the temple, but rather they say, I'm going for darshan. It's not a matter of prayers and offerings. They go to see the image of the deity. But even more importantly than seeing the divinity, they go to receive darshan, to receive the grace-filled glance of sacred eyes. They go to receive the healing that comes when they are seen full and complete in their humanity. Bent or broken, old or young, depressed or happy, lovely or misshapen, in being seen as they are, not as they think they should be, but as they are made whole by the eyes of the divine. That is the key element to the temple experience. The hymns, the chants, the readings, the priests, the traditions, the building itself are all secondary. The open eyes are what matter. In the pupil of the eye, an endless heaven. No matter our religious beliefs, being seen for who we truly are is a sacred experience. Look around. If many of us are honest with ourselves, many of us have been taught to transform ourselves into what others need us to be. We've learned the roles, and in some cases the rules, to be able to pass, to get by. Many of us believe that most people don't want to see or hear what we feel, what we need, or even who we are. Many of us have learned that most people don't want to see the messiness and the confusion each of us carries inside. We've learned that only parts of ourselves are publicly presentable. Other parts must be hidden away for acceptability or approval. We must conceal the rough edges, the broken places. We create rainbows to hide our rainstorms. If this resonates in any way, type yes, Y for yes, in the chat box on our virtual campus. We're afraid that if anybody truly sees inside us, they're going to run screaming from the site. Okay, I hear it resonates a little bit. So, what have you hidden from view? What don't you let anyone see? What don't you let yourself see? There's a great price to pay for the fragmentation of our frailties, and we all have frailties. We cut parts of ourselves off from others so they can't see us whole. We cut parts of ourselves off from our own self. We become segmented people, compartmentalized creations, rather the complex people we naturally are. And then we wonder, why do I feel out of sorts? Why do I feel like something's not right in my life? Why don't I feel like me? What we ache for is darshan, to be seen. We ache to be seen and loved. Richard Seltzer, who is a cancer surgeon at a major hospital, tells this true story of ordinary, extraordinary darshan, of being seen. I've shared this story before, but it is one of my favorites, and so I share it again. Richard Seltzer writes, I stand by the bed where a young woman lies, her face post-operative, her mouth twisted in palsy, clownish. The tiny twig of the facial nerve, the one to the muscles on her mouth, has been severed. She will have that twisted mouth from now on. To remove the tumor in her cheek, I had to cut that little nerve. Her young husband is with her in the room. He stands on the opposite side of the bed, and together they seem to dwell in the evening lamp light, isolated from me, private. Who are they? I ask myself, he and this wry mouth I have made. The young woman speaks. Will my mouth always be like this? She asks. Yes, I say, it will. It is because the nerve was cut. She nods and then is silent. But the young man smiles. I like it, he says. It's kind of cute. All at once, I know who he is. I understand, and I lower my gaze. One is not bold in an encounter with a god. Unmindful, he bends to kiss her crooked mouth, and I so close I can see how he twists his own lips to accommodate to hers, to show her that their kiss still works. I remember that the gods appeared in ancient times as mortal, and I hold my breath and let the wonder in. This is darshan, to truly see, to truly be seen. As Diana Eck says, beholding another is an act of worship. Through the eyes, one gains blessings. In the eye, in the pupil of the eye, an endless heaven. And we don't need to do this literally with our physical eyes. I think of my friend Abhita, who is visually impaired. She sees deeply without her eyes into the souls of those she meets. We can behold with our ears as we listen to someone, our hearts as we open them, our minds, our attention, our intuition, and our awareness. As Unitarian Universalists, we may not often stand in hospital rooms and create crooked kisses for our beloved. As Unitarian Universalists, we may not often climb 1,000 steps to stand before a goddess and receive darshan from her two large eyes. But here, in our spiritual community, on campus, and in the virtual world, we have hundreds of eyes. Here, we have hundreds of chances to be seen. Here, we have hundreds of chances for us to be the one who sees. Our Unitarian Universalist faith can become a form of darshan. When we come to this church, we don't ask one another to leave behind our doubts or our discoveries. We don't ask each other to leave behind our questions in order to adopt some system of belief that someone else figured out and tells us is true. We aren't asked to pretend to practice or believe in something that doesn't feel authentic to us. Here, we are seen as the unique, free-thinking, and questing spiritual beings that each of us yearns to be. Here, in this Unitarian Universalist faith, we are seen not as sinners needing salvation, but as human beings, beautiful, good, and flawed. We are all flawed. But how could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? Here, we yearn to be recalled to our best selves again. Here in this community, as we are seen for who we are, we also see in each other the potential to become together something so much more than who we are on our own. We want traveling companions on the journey. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more exciting. When I think about it, and our service, our time of sharing joys, sorrows, concerns, and gratitude can become darshan. Many eyes look upon us as we share those things that move us, whether in the chat box or in our virtual campus or by writing them down on the card in the Alluvial Avenue sanctuary. Our eyes and ears witness each other's stories, and in doing so, we bless each other. This also happens through the work of our pastoral care team, who see the needs of the most vulnerable among us and reach out to support. Social hour after the service had been a place of darshan. It's also a place of coffee. Remember when we used to drink coffee here? You're lucky on the virtual campus, you can drink coffee. We can't here. So, social hour has been something we lost in the first couple waves of the pandemic. But we're now reestablishing it on our Alluvial Avenue campus. So they get coffee on the virtual campus, we get social hour on our actual campus. We are encouraging you to stay after the service if you feel comfortable and sit together. There'll be socially distanced, seated outside, and beginning today in the sanctuary, a non-socially distanced grouping. You'll have a chance to meet some folks you may not know and share a few questions based on the sermon to guide the conversation. Staying after the service on our alluvial campus and talking together is a form of darshan. This happens when we dare let ourselves be seen and share things that are personal and spiritual. We've got plenty of surface level chatter in our lives. I think most of us are here to go deeper. Last Sunday in the afternoon, I attended service with my friend Pastor Simon at Woven Community, and I noticed that after the service ended, the congregation stayed together and stayed so long he had to flash the lights to make them leave. We want to bring that back here. But I want to tell you, if you are new or newish to this congregation, just exploring who you are in relation to this church, exploring your own spiritual life, your own spiritual questions, one of the best ways to go deeper into darshan is with a small group of people who form together a chalice circle on our virtual church campus. Chalice circles are the Unitarian Universalist version of Bible study. Yep, it's true. But instead of the Bible, we study the sacredness of our own lives. Our lived experience, we believe, is a form of lived scripture, and we listen to and see the experiences of other people. With the trained facilitator, Chalice Circles meet twice monthly on Zoom to explore spiritual and meaning of life type topics. It's the easiest and best way to find connection here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, if that's what you're looking for. A new season of Chalice Circles is about to begin just in another 2 weeks. All you need to do is show up and the magic happens. You'll be seen and you will see others. You'll make friends with some amazing people. You can see Patty at the visitors table outside on our alluvial campus, or indicate in the chat box that you'd like more information, and we will follow up, I promise. Another way our church can become darshan is by getting to know each other. And this is hard. I'm going to say that. It's hard coming into a church new when there's not a pandemic. It's even harder when everybody's masked and some of us are social distance. But we have to figure out how to do this. We can't stay isolated from each other. We yearn for connection and to go deeper. There are some amazing new faces exploring our church community. Many of you are here right now. Here on our Alluvial Avenue campus, do we stay in our old group of friends? And many of you have old groups of friends. And do you stay with just them, holding on to what you already know? Or do you see how daunting it can be to try to enter a new community, especially during a pandemic? Do we do more than welcome, but do we get to know those who are new? It is easy to have designated greeters. Well, Sometimes it's easy to have people volunteer to be designated greeters. It's easy to welcome people at the door, or in the chat box on the online campus, but it's harder to have all of us welcome these new faces into friendship, if that's what they want. It means that we must see others' needs before our own. And to our new friends who are exploring this place and this faith, either here on campus or so many of you who I know have found us online on our virtual campus, you too must present yourself to be seen. You must open your eyes to see where you can connect if that's what you want, where you can find your place within this community of so much possibility. This is just as true on our virtual campus, connecting in the chat box, but especially all of our online classes and workshops. That's how you meet and get to know each other. That's how you have darshan. For no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show, as we sang in Lean on Me this morning. Also, seeing the world beyond these walls can become darshan. We can open our eyes and see those in need, those who are being pushed to the fringes, be it access to health care, those who need clean water or living wages, those who have been pushed to the fringes because of their marginalized identities or the colors of their skin. We can see the destruction our need for convenience is bringing to this fragile planet Earth, and we can allow what we see to transform us into people committed to healing the world. My friends, to see and to be seen, this should be the work of a church community. As I often say, church is not a spectator sport. This is the heart of our Unitarian Universalist faith. The hymns, the chants, the chalice, the readings, the minister, the traditions, and even the building are all secondary. The open eyes are what matter. Our open eyes are what matter. Through those portals, we can make each other whole. Through the pupil of the eye, we'll find an endless heaven. Que así sea, bendito sea. May it be so, blessed be. Amen and amen.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall, no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you just reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in. You'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. Out of the shadows, the comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Ida Jones, and welcome again to my sister's home in Oklahoma City. The Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno has been my port in a storm. It has allowed me to think about and explore my spirituality and has helped encourage me to learn more so that I can make a stronger individual connection to this big blue world. Because of this, I have worked hard to give back just a small portion of what this church, has given me. I have happily participated in the richness and connection of chalice circles, regularly attended thought-provoking religious exploration and education classes, served gratefully in governance as a member of your future-looking, protective Board of Trustees, and currently serve as a member of your dynamic and inspiring worship arts team. In this spirit, please join me in our words of offering. If not us, then who? If not open hearts, then what? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? If not generously, then how? If not us, then who? Here's a slide showing how you can make a financial contribution right now. Or if you are on the Alluvial Avenue campus, you can always drop cash or a check into the basket on your way out of the sanctuary. We can't pass the basket because of the pandemic. Thank you in advance for saying yes. May this church continue to be worthy of the many forms of your gifts. Hi, I'm Ida Jones, a member of your worship arts team, and welcome to my sister's home. During the welcome, I talked about how this church, you, helped me through one of the most challenging times of my life. During my reflection, I talked about Deborah, who saw me as the person I was trying to become. This church has supported me when I needed it and provided many opportunities to continue that spiritual growth to become the person I want to be. During this pandemic, it's been the connection to this church that has helped me, even though I was not and have not been in the physical presence of church members. As we prepare to end our service and enter into our afternoon, please join us in our chalice extinguishing words led by Karen and Troy.
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad, o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts.
Here's a wave to everyone on our virtual church campus. We hope to see you all next week. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Ida. And it's really wonderful because of technology, people can be part of the service from around the country. I have a few quick reminders before closing words and our sung benediction. We will be having after church community conversations and connections. So outside, socially distanced. On this side, there's going to be a poetry circle discussion that you're welcome to crash. And on this side, once our folks have left, we're going to have just the conversation about the sermon topic and get to know each other. So get to know each other, poetry, and then outside, get to know each other as well. Very important, how do we exit the church in a pandemic? Words I never thought I would ever utter in my ministry, how to leave a church in a pandemic. So what we do is we let these folks on our socially distanced side leave first, right through the doors where our wonderful ushers are wildly waving at us. And then we invite the rest of you just to cross through and please exit those doors where the wildly waving ushers are. If mobility is an issue, you have the great pleasure of just walking or rolling right out the front doors. If you brought kiddos with you today and you decide you want to take them home, we ask that you pick them up at the religious exploration table in the breezeway. Do not go back into the grassy area, please.
Hi, I'm interrupting this service for an unpaid advertisement. I even added all this just to get your attention, and probably you'll remember it better. My name's Lori Tidyman Jones, and when I came to the church a couple of years ago, I knew a few people, but I just didn't know what to do after the service. I'd kind of run out to the parking lot. I just didn't know how to be a part and just didn't feel a part. So I thought, I'll sign up for the Chalice Circle, and it turned out to be the best decision I'd ever made. Not only did I meet some people, but from it came deep, lasting friendship. And I know you all want that for yourselves. And even if you've been at the church for a while, it's a great way to really build relationships and get to know other people, new people like me as well. So go online to the UU Fresno website and sign up there, or talk to Patty Bennett, after church, and sign up today for good friends and fun and fellowship.
Let's give it up for Laurie. That's the first time we've ever had a stealthily inserted commercial in a Sunday service. Last, we have a tradition here at church that is one of my favorite parts of the service because it feels so genuine and real. You could have been anywhere outside in Fresno breathing this fresh, lovely air, and yet you chose to come here this morning, and we appreciate it. So we'd like to welcome those who are here for the first, second, or third time. We do it not to embarrass you, right, Laura? We do not do this to embarrass you. We do it because we are genuinely glad you made a decision to spend time with us. I promise we won't leave you standing alone long. If this is your first, second, or third time, would you please rise for just a moment, please? First, second, or third time, welcome, welcome, yay, welcome back, welcome back. I invite the rest of the congregation to rise with them. And let us take our hands, place them over our hearts, yearning for the day we'll be able to have our benediction when we hold hands together. But until then, go now in peace. May you leave this place knowing you are good and knowing you are loved. Take your love from this place and share it with the world. Stay safe until we meet again. And may the longtime sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And that pure light that is within you guide your way on. Blessed be. Amen. Amen.
Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. In love. Go in peace.
Shalom and assalamu alaikum.